a hometown discount on the extension. Do you think that the NFL the players union would support him taking a hometown discount? I think they'd want to see Mahomes get as much bang for his buck, because that would allow all the other quarterbacks, when it's their turn to get paid more.
I disagree. I mean, I don't disagree where, like, yeah, they'd want it, but I don't think it would be a big deal for them, because the players union really should be representing, especially in a league like football. It's not like baseball or basketball where guys are literally putting their livelihoods and their life on the line. In some cases, their ability to live proper human lives afterwards. And they care more about that because they do have less of a guarantee in their salaries. So I think when you talk to the guys at the top, I don't think Patrick Mahomes taking $33 million a year instead of $40 million a year, which would then have guys like, I don't know, who's like Dak getting $27 million a year instead of $32 million a year. I don't think that little ripple would make the Players Association go wild, because at the end of the day, franchise quarterbacks, and you can define that as the elite of the elite, or you can define that as someone like, yeah, you know what? There's 32 teams and there's not 32 great quarterbacks. It's one of the guys who I know I can trot out there for 16 games a year, and he's going to give us a chance to win if I have the right pieces around him. They're going to get paid no matter what. So I don't think the Players Association, they can't do much. And if Patrick Mahomes won't, like he should, because he's talented enough, he wants to be Tom. I think he would want to be Tom Brady instead of Aaron Rodgers.
I agree.
He would take the discount. And I'm not saying take $15 million a year. I'm saying take $34, $35 million a year when he probably could get $40.
And when we're talking about that amount of money, those are insanely high quantities of money. And I remember Mike Florio always said it when talking about players, like him not getting angry at guys like Rodgers for getting the most out of their worth, because a player's worth is the exact amount that a team pays them. The NFL, right, stands for not for long. One part of me is like, okay, he should get the most amount of money that he can. On the other hand, you're right. On a deal that, that he's going to get for all those years, $34 versus $40 million, that could be the difference between getting a Kelsey to stay, getting a Hill to stay. Because I always said it, Joe, he's not going to get a better tight end in his career than Travis Kelsey, in all likelihood. And he's probably not going to get a receiver that's ever been faster than Tyreek Hill. Now, they recently just got McCole Hardman, who put up a run for his money. But, the guys that he's playing with, he's not going to have a much better tight end, right, than Kelsey. He's not going to have much better receiver than Hill. So it's kind of important for him to keep guys like that, because the Chiefs' offense seems to be a track race with a guy who can throw a football as far as he can. And Florio said it, get what you can when you can.
I would never begrudge anyone. I mean, maybe if I was a fan of the team, I would. But in general, if you want to maximize your earnings, fine. But you know what? It comes down to what you want out of the game, and it tells you a lot. Because when we evaluate players at the end of the day, the greats, and I'm not talking like who makes the Pro Bowl or even who should win MVP. When we're getting there for the NFL 100-year anniversary, and we're talking about the greats of the greats. Greatness is not just encapsulated in how well you can throw a ball or even how well you can lead a team. It's everything. And the reason why Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, because if you want to just talk talent, is Brady even top 10? I don't know. But it's taking pay cuts. Yeah. It's doing all those things. So even if Mahomes wins 2 Super Bowls and wins MVPs or whatever, if they're a player or two short because he's milking every last penny he can make, then good for him. I don't think it'll matter much at the end of the day. And
I agree. I think Kansas City fans, they love Mahomes, they love their team, and I think they would love Patrick even more if he did take a little bit of a hometown discount. What's one of my reasons why I love Amendola so much, and I never got mad at him for leaving, is because for 4 years in a row he took pay cuts, and then he would still be Danny Playoff when the money was on the line. No pun intended.
And that's a totally different scenario. You're talking a guy who over the course of his career may have made $20 million if you take out all the money that wasn't guaranteed, and when he took this pay cut, that pay cut, whatever.
And that's why I respected him so much and never was mad when he left, because he did that for 4 years in a row, and I'll always thank Danny for what he did.
Never did it, even if he never took a pay cut, Danny Amendola, in the grand scheme of things, because obviously millions of dollars sounds like a ton, but over the course of your life, if you're retiring at 33, 34, 35, and a couple extra $1 million when you've made $10 million, to go from 10 to 14 million is a big difference.
It's a lot different than Mahomes at the end of his career, where it might be 300 compared to 320, 325.
And not to mention the is it Hunt's ketchup? It's not Heinz, it's Hunt's. That's who he does the ketchup commercials for?
Yeah, I think it's Hunt's, because I don't think Heinz would endorse a Kansas City Chief.
Yeah, exactly.
With their association with Pittsburgh. But let's move on to a guy who left Los Angeles, apparently, and the Chargers and Phillip Rivers apparently are going to be parting ways. I think everyone knew this for a long time. Is Phillip Rivers done?
I never like to count out guys like that, and it's hard for me to see guys who I grew up watching leave the game, because we're still young. You just turned the big 2-1, so you can legally have a brewski.
Yeah.
I still can't. I'm just a child at 20 years of age.
You'll love your first sip.
Oh, the first sip to ever touch my lips.
Oh yeah.
Ever. But when you see guys, and even though Phillip Rivers is probably not one of the names first comes to your mind when you think of this generation, but I remember as a kid growing up, Phillip Rivers was a young quarterback. They were 14-2, LaDainian Tomlinson, playing NFL Street and seeing all these guys and playing Phillip Rivers. Because my first year watching football was 2006, and we had that huge win against the Chargers.
14-2 Chargers, right?
Yeah, in the divisional round. Yep. And then we came back, and obviously then we blew the lead to the Colts. But that was like one of the first football games that I watched and remembered. And then the next year, we played them in the AFC Championship game in the perfect season year.
Yep.
So Phillip Rivers, he might be a Hall of Famer because of the numbers he put up, and we can have that debate for another day.
Yeah.
But seeing guys like that just every year, just chip away, and now guys are entering the league. It's already happened in basketball. It's going to start happening within the next few years, if it already hasn't, guys in football being our age. And it's weird watching your at least age-wise, your peers in the league, because I look at these guys and they're superheroes.
Yeah.
And then it's weird. It's like, I'm younger than this guy. Like, I kind of feel like, I don't know, this is getting too much, but like an inferiority complex of seeing these guys. So it's always sad when you watch someone who you've always admired and respected and thought he played the game the right way. I do think that he could still be an effective quarterback. He wasn't great this year. Would I guarantee that happening? If I was a team, would I give him $20 million? No, but is there a chance Phillip Rivers could sidearm swing his way to a 10-win season? Could he play a Ryan Fitzpatrick somewhere?
Oh,
I think absolutely.
I think his best opportunity to be a Ryan Fitzpatrick type role was probably on the team that he was just on, with all the weapons that they have surrounded him there. Who knows? Maybe, imagine, like you said, maybe him in Indianapolis, maybe him in Tennessee. I don't know. But yeah, I would probably be leaning towards that we could see one more year of Phillip Rivers, because Phillip does.
What about Tampa Bay? Didn't he just move to Florida?
He did, but do you think they'll move on? Oh, man, that'd be crazy. They'd move on from Jameis Winston, who you have one time he'll throw like 5 touchdown passes followed by 6 interceptions, to move on to.
I wouldn't want him on my team.
They'd be the kinkiest. Like they have some weird fixation order over weird quarterbacks. So they have Jameis Winston, who's obsessed with turnovers, and then they would go to a guy, Phillip Rivers, who doesn't know how to throw the ball normally.
Yeah. Don't knock sidearm throws. It can be very effective.
Agreed.
I know firsthand all about that, So, hey, he's been in the league since 2004. Every year you look up, and you know what? Little Phillip Rivers, 2009 or 2000, he should have won he should have won the MVP in, what was it, 08 or 09? Peyton won one of those years. But Phillip Rivers should be an NFL MVP.
Peyton won in 2009. 2008 was, man.
Because Brady was hurt that year.
Yeah.
Who won in
Man, 2008.
Was that LT? No.
That's a good one, dude. Who?
I think Peyton might have won back-to-back.
In terms of, Peyton did win back-to-back MVPs, but that was the Pittsburgh
won in 2008.
Pittsburgh, Arizona was the 2008 season Super Bowl.
Peyton won in both 08 and 09. I forget which year it was, but Philip Rivers should have won one of those MVPs. I'll just leave it at that.
I think so. You're right. So, I think Rivers has one more. I don't think we've seen the last of him. One more, I'll give him.
And honestly, if you're a shit bum team, why not give Philip Rivers a chance? Like, what do you got to lose?
I guess games is what you would have to lose, but I think Philip Rivers is better than some of the options that are currently out there in the NFL. That's for sure.
And what about as a place if you draft a quarterback, have him sit behind Philip? And who knows? Maybe that'll give you an in with one of his kids. Because guess what? Like 9 of them, one of them's got to be good at football.
Yeah, he could make a team with his family, himself, his wife, and his 9 kids. Make 11.
Yeah.
Plus, if he retired, then all he would do would be make more kids.
Oh, or they I don't know. Like you had what was the league? Because we had the XFL. What was the league we had earlier?
AAF.
Like it played the AAF. They could have like the Rivers Cromartie League. Where you have
yes.
Philip Rivers and all his kids versus Cromartie and his kids.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, and Antonio Brown joined that league, and Tim Tebow joined that league. That would be amazing. I think Pat McAfee needs to play XFL. He commentated for XFL. He needs to get in there.
Yeah. I'll have to get into that. You get into the NBA, I'll get into the XFL. I gotta check it out.
Sounds like a deal. Sounds like a good trade.
All right.
That's it for NFL until there's more news, which I guess would just be extensions until March 18th is the mark of the new league year. Until then, I think it would just be extensions, right? Can they do trades?
And Skip Bayless nonsense.
All that Undisputed will do is talk about LeBron versus Jordan. They talk about that once a week. It'll be who's better, Brady, Rodgers, or Mahomes. Then they'll probably talk a little bit about Kawhi.
Meanwhile, you have Damian Lillard averaging 50 points a game for this month. Sports talk needs to get good again. You got to listen to podcasts like Grievances Filed and the Low Post to really get in-depth knowledge that goes beyond what you see on Instagram. Yeah,
we're not just we're not First Take or First Things First and shit like that. We're better than that. 100%.
No, we are. All right. Well, thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure.
Of course.
Kirk signs an extension. Got to get me on. Dalvin Cook trade. Let's cook that up.
Done deal. Thank you for your insight. No one knows more than you.
Oh, well, coming from you, that is the highest of compliments. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. All right, get back to making more NBA stats.
I will. Who knows? Maybe in the future, see a little basketball podcast coming out from me. So stay tuned.
Well, I'm sure I'll probably run out of some football things to say. So probably.
All right.
All right. I'll see you later. Thanks for coming on.
All right. See you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Of course. Bye. All right, and that was the Joe Spinosa interview. And I did promise, last but not least, my thoughts quickly on Jon Bones Jones Fight. Incredible. Absolutely incredible fight. I think he fought a guy named Reyes. It was Jon Bones Jones, brother of Chandler Jones. Crazy fight, UFC, 5 rounds. Everyone said Reyes won the first 3. Jones did kind of dominate the last 2. He won by judge's decision. Jones did. Funny how fights like that work and what betting implications might have on that. I think Jones was favored by quite a bit, and then it comes down to the judges and their vote. So I don't know if it's a toss-up, if they just lean with the guy who's favored, so that